We have been taught that more is better. More stuff, more space, more options. But what if the opposite is true? What if owning less actually creates more financial security? Let me tell you about two people. Same income, same age, same city. One has a house full of furniture, appliances, gadgets, and storage units. The other lives simply with only what they need and love. Who has more financial security? Most people would say the one with more stuff. After all, stuff has value. But here is the reality. Stuff loses value. Furniture depreciates the moment you buy it. Electronics become obsolete. Clothes go out of style. And stuff costs money to maintain. Every item adds to your monthly expenses. The person with less stuff has lower maintenance costs, lower insurance needs, and more cash flow. They can save more, invest more, breathe easier. Let me share a concept called financial margin. Margin is the gap between what you earn and what you need to live. The smaller your lifestyle, the larger your margin. A person who needs $3,000 a month to live has margin even on a modest salary. A person who needs $6,000 a month has no margin even on a high salary. Owning less reduces your needs. You do not need a large house to store things you do not use. You do not need expensive insurance to protect things you do not value. You do not need to work extra hours to maintain things you do not love. This is the paradox of minimalism. By owning less, you gain more. More time, more energy, more freedom, more money. Let me give you a concrete example. Imagine you have a garage full of tools. You rarely use them. But you pay for garage space. You insure them. You spend weekends organizing them. Now imagine you sell them. You pocket a few $1,000s. You stop paying for storage. You reduce insurance. You gain back your weekends. You take that money and invest it. Over time, it grows. You did not lose security. You gained it. The same applies to subscriptions, memberships, and even relationships with money. Every commitment you have requires maintenance. The fewer commitments, the more resilient you become. Let me give you another example. Two families have the same income. One has a large house with a mortgage, 2 car payments, a boat, and a storage unit. The other rents a modest apartment, has 1 paid-off car, and owns very little. When an unexpected expense comes, the first family panics. The second family handles it easily. Why? Because their margin is larger. Their needs are smaller. They are not fragile. Here is a real-world calculation. Suppose you own a second car that you rarely drive. It costs you insurance, registration, maintenance, and depreciation. Let us say the total's $300 a month. If you sell that car, you not only get cash, but also save $300 each month. Invested over 10 years. That is over $50,000. That is not just saving money. That is building wealth. Owning less is not about sacrifice. It is about redirecting resources to what truly matters. Let me share a personal story. A friend of mine had a storage unit for 7 years. She paid $80 a month for items she never looked at. That is nearly $7,000 over 7 years. When she finally emptied the unit, she realized that most of the items were worthless to her. She kept a few sentimental pieces and sold or donated the rest. She now uses that $80 each month to invest in her retirement account. Over 20 years, that $80 a month will grow to over $40,000. Her storage unit was not storing things. It was storing her potential wealth. This week, I want you to identify one area where owning less would increase your financial margin. Maybe it is canceling a subscription you do not use. Maybe it is selling a piece of equipment you have not touched. Maybe it is downsizing to a smaller home when your lease ends. Just one change. Then, calculate how much margin that change creates. You will likely find that owning less does not feel like loss. It feels like relief. Next episode, we explore the minimalist approach to saving, how intentional spending and margin create wealth without deprivation. Subscribe so you don't miss it.